When getting ready to build a greenhouse, high tunnel, or hoop house, one of the first and most important steps is running strings and squaring your structure. Running strings before the installation is how you determine the footprint for where your structure will be, and it's also how you make sure that the structure will be a rectangle instead of some other weird shape. Running strings incorrectly can really mess up your installation. It could result in your structure being too narrow, too wide, or just completely misshapen. But more so than that, they will make all of the other installation steps extremely difficult. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I easily run strings and square them, and make sure you stick around till the end of this video because I want to show you how corner ground post anchors should be placed in relation to these strings. To most easily run strings, you'll need 8 pieces of 4-foot rebar, a tape measure, a marker, string, a line level, and another person. So grab a friend and let's go. For the sake of this video, we're going to pretend we're building a 30-foot by 100-foot greenhouse, and all of the measurements I discuss will refer to this. That said, all of the concepts will remain the same regardless of your structure size. First, I always start by running one lengthwise string where I want the side of my greenhouse to be located. Since our structure is 100 feet long, for example, I'm going to run a string that is about 105 feet long. I pound in a piece of rebar, use a tape measure to measure off that 105 feet, and then I run a string between them. This is exactly how I make the knots at both ends of this string. I make a loop and then tie it to itself. Let's just zoom in on that for a moment. This is what the loop looks like. I put one end of the string on the rebar first, go down to the other end, and make it super tight, doing the exact same type of knot. In my opinion, this is the best type of knot to use at the end of these strings because you can pull the string super tight and this knot will not loosen. The string should be placed on the rebar so it will be at a height that it will be able to touch the side of all of your future ground post anchors. This first string we just installed is going to be considered our firm line. We won't move this string at all this entire process. Next, I measure off of this string for my width, in our case 30 feet. I do so near the rebar. I always do my best to measure perpendicular to my first string. Do this near the front of your first string and pound in another piece of rebar. Repeat at the rear of your first string and pound in another piece of rebar. Connect these 2 pieces of rebar with a string using the knot style I mentioned earlier. Double check for width at various points along the length of a line. After installing this second string, we now have another firm line. We won't need to move this string at all through the rest of this squaring process. Next, I'm now ready to do cross strings for the front and rear of our future structure. I start 2.5 feet in on the rebar of our first string. At this point, I make a mark on the string with a permanent marker. Then, my friend and I measure down that string for our length, which in our case is 100 feet. Once the measuring tape is held firmly, I mark the string at the 100-foot mark. I now have 2 marks 100 feet apart from each other on our first firm line. We will use these marks as guides for one side of our widthwise strings. Next, I pound a rebar about 2.5 feet from the outer edge of our first string, and by eye, I try to pound this rebar in line with the mark we just made. I then attach a string to that rebar and walk across the width of our future structure until I am 2.5 feet outside our other firm lengthwise string. I pound in another rebar and attach the end of the string to it. Once this first horizontal string line is in place, I do 2 things. First, I walk to the other side and make sure the widthwise string I just installed crosses the first marker mark that we made at an earlier step. Second, I check the intersection of the strings we just created using the 3-4-5 method. This will help immensely when doing the next step. Here's how this works. Measure 3 feet from the intersection this way, make a mark. Measure 4 feet from the intersection of the strings this way and make a mark. Measure between these 2 marks for 5 feet. If it isn't measuring 5 feet, adjust only this side of the line this way or that way until this third measurement reads 5 feet. Once that has been done, you can move on to the next step. Because of this 3-4-5 step you just took, this front line is now also possibly firm, and you may not have to move it the rest of this process. Next, I measure 100 feet off of this newly formed intersection of string. Make sure that the measuring tape is held firmly so it is nice and taut, and make a mark with permanent marker on this other lengthwise string. You should now have a mark on each lengthwise string that you can use as a guide for where to run your rear widthwise line across. Repeat the process for pounding in rebar 2.5 feet from each string, and attach a string to these 2 rebars so the string crosses both of these marker marks. After that, your strings should be squared. However, you need to check 3 things before proceeding. Number 1, double check for the width of your structure in a couple of places throughout its length. Second, double check for the length of your structure on the left and the right, just to confirm that you are indeed at the right length. Third, check for square doing a corner-to-corner measurement. When your distance between these corners match, your structure is square. If your measurements aren't equal from corner to corner, you can solve this by adjusting just these two strings. If you did need to make some adjustments, give it another corner-to-corner measurement to see if they match. Once they do, your future structure location has now been squared. But we're not done yet. The entire reason we went through all this effort with these strings is so that we can correctly and accurately install all 4 of our corner ground posts. First, we're going to cover how these are positioned in relation to these strings, and then we're going to get them in place. Now, if you have one of our Tunnel Vision Hoops DIY greenhouse kits, all of the structure's width, length, and bow spacing measurements are from the center of the ground post to the center of the ground post. That means that if it's 100 foot long, it's 100 foot long from the center of the front ground posts to the center of the rear ground posts. The same is true for the width and between the ground post anchors. People always ask me, wouldn't that make it so that the ground posts would fall directly beneath the strings I just ran? The answer is no. You will not put the ground post under your strings. Instead, if we think of each of these spaces where the strings intersect as a quadrant, pick one of these quadrants and make sure the ground posts for each of your 4 corners all land in the same quadrant at that specific corner. For example, they should all be in a bottom right quadrant, and they will all look like this, so that both of the edges on the sides of those ground posts are just barely touching the strings in both directions in that quadrant. It doesn't matter which quadrant you select, as long as all 4 of your corner ground posts are in the same quadrant in each of the corners. If you do this, all of your other ground posts will be appropriately spaced. Now that we know where the corner ground posts have to be in relation to the strings, we have to get them into the ground. This is an extremely important step because the top of the ground posts on the left have to be level across the width of the structure with the top of the ground posts on the right. And I'm going to show you how you do that right now. Pick one of your sides to start on, and you're going to do the corner ground posts on this one side first. You'll anchor both the front corner and rear corner ground posts to spec, which means you'll drive them in as far as you're supposed to drive them according to the instructions you have. After anchored to depth, put a line level on your widthwise strings. Adjust the strings so that they read level. Then make a mark with a marker where the widthwise string is contacting the ground posts you just installed. Once you have this mark, measure down from the post's top to the mark you just made. For us here on this front cornermost ground post, our mark was 8 inches from the top of the ground post. We can now go to the other side. We're going to use the distance from the top of the ground post to the mark we made, and we're going to mimic that mark on this ground post, measuring from its top down 8 inches and making a mark. Now that there's a mark on this corner ground post, we know when we need to stop pounding it into the earth for it to be level to the corner ground post opposite it. When the mark we made lines up with the level widthwise string, we can stop pounding this corner ground post into place. We'll repeat this process for the rear corner ground post as well. Once we've done that, our corner ground posts have been installed correctly. Their tops on one side are level to the tops of the ground posts on the other side, and the on-center width and length measurements for these corner posts are accurate. Now both of the lengthwise strings can be used as guides to help you anchor the rest of your ground post anchors. We have a separate video covering that topic, and hopefully you watch that too. If you have one of our Tunnel Vision Hoops DIY greenhouse kits, thanks for supporting our small business. If you don't have one of our structures, we'd love to work with you. You can visit us at tunnelvisionhoops.com or this QR code. Thanks for watching.